Hello YouTube, this is Swaggy coming at you to record got two more videos to record today. This is for March 31st, 2026, and this is called Pink Noise. Let's get into it. Act 1, along shady alleys. Sounds shady. Oh, this is gonna be a story kind of game, gotcha. Fall comes to Riverside with chilling winds and first drizzle. A bleak mist obscures the narrow streets, digging to the rooftop, tingling in the bushes and swirling around fields. Fog and murky blackness suit the particular suburb. Nestled amid the forest and mountains is a decaying quiet place waiting for winter. It's gonna be a story kind of game. I like these games, but I also have too many of these. Well, I don't have a lot now because I got rid of a bunch because they were free. But I have plenty, so that's good. I have plenty of these I can play anyways. But I don't like using I already talk enough with my streams, so this is just make my voice more. I have to drink hot tea, which I haven't drank in a couple days, so I'll probably drink some today sometime. As the evening wears on, the town is wrapped in thickening twilight, with only a few streetlights serving as a solitude islands of illumination in the ocean of darkness. On one such evening, ordinary and cold, 14 are strolling around the old park engrossed in a lively discussion. First fallen leaves rustle underfoot. As the wind reaches the trees, the branches grown out a long plaited creek, as if already limiting the loss of the motel attire. Two teenagers, a tall boy and a fair-haired girl, rock hand in hand. The friends carefully hops from one paved slab to the next, balancing as though the bottomless chasm about yawn upon them beneath them. A quiet, stooping boy in glasses trails behind them, casting glances at the road. Ahead, the street splits in two, then veers sharply toward a wasteland. Just a half-century before, a tiny school stood there. Not only a barely discernible foundation, a heap of broken bricks, choked by stubborn vines, remained to remind them of its wild existence. Year by year, students have taken that path, carrying them their thoughts and fears, high hopes and grand dreams. From tough exams and first crashes to bully bonks on the head, or simply yearning to be the star player of a local team. Be it glowing autumn gold, cloaked in verdant summer green, or blanket beneath snow drifts, River would never forget them, just as they would forget their town and secrets. The older a place grows, the more mysterious it keeps locked away. One of the girls leaps into the disordered blur, light cast by an old street lamp.
Не pоймали.
Ain't gonna catch me! Eve wipes shadow webs off her cardigan, gossamer threads only she could perceive. She glances at the overgrown bushes, which have long since forgotten the tender care of garden shears.
Сегодня без ужина, чудище.
No chow time tonight, besties! The other girl scoffed at her friend's silly gesture.
Будь Брайан таким же ловким, нам не пришлось бы торчать в школе до ночи. Кабинет химии еще никогда не был таким чистым, как после сегодняшней уборки.
If Brian was as agile as you wouldn't have been stuck in school after dark. The chemistry would never have been so tidy. She wiggled her fingers to demonstrate her palm red or wrinkled from the hot water.
Я ж не виноват, что миссис Хоупстоун не потрудилась сохранить достаточно зубов, чтобы не шепелявить и плеваться, а внятно объяснить, что бутылку нужно было оставить открытой.
It's not my fault Miss Hopstone didn't save enough tea to avoid spitting and lisping. Besides, she should have explained it better. The bottle must have been left open.
Вообще-то объяснила. Но ты положил медицинский спирт не одну таблетку хлора, а 3. Ясное дело, что реакция пошла более бурная.
Actually, she explained just fine. But you still put 3 coin tablets in a bubbling alcohol instead of 1. Surprise, surprise, the reaction was extreme.
Ну и хлопок удался, что надо. У меня до сих пор в левом ухе звенит.
Yet that bang was something else. My left ear is still ringing. Eva stopped, hovering in a faint halo of light and nod. She'd never been reprimanded at school before today, so she would have been way more upset if she had been Brian's fault, but still. It's just another adventure, something her and her friends will laugh about one day. A happy memory is worth more than reprimand, especially when her parents will probably forget about it tomorrow.
Ладно.
Alright. He raised his hand
В
apologetically.
следующий раз, когда снова будем
Next
работать
time
в
we
команде,
team
я
up,
вас
I
не
won't let you
подведу.
down. I put in
Положу
2
две
chlorine
таблетки хлора.
tablets. The group passes row of houses dissimilar to the one as another as if possible in the suburb. The time-worn house windows close faintly in superior tones as though the light itself had aged and no longer dispersed as deepening darkness. The buildings they pass seem to be contending for the greatest neglect. Every other resident would be considered eccentric in the area town. Vince, the gray bone, had leaned on the rusty mower on his front stoop instead of a cane for 2 decades. The abandoned duplex across the road still bears the scars of a long-forgotten fire. The windows are boarded up. Even during the day, it has a miserable look. The teens keep the
О,
distance.
дом миссис Харвиц.
Oh, Mrs. Harvest's house. The gloomy old lady had knitted yet another pear-shaped cat and proudly displayed it on the terrace, thus expanding her ugly army. That's creepy as fuck.
Ты же
Right!
заходила к ней
You had a
на
cup of
чай.
tea together. Did
Малыш
baby
что, не
Tony
извинился?
apologize? Once Eva's brother had flinched one of the cats and taken it home. Neither of the parents have called any attention to it, so she had explained herself that taking other people's belongings without permission was wrong.
Извинялась я.
No,
а
I
миссис
was the only
Харвиц
one
не
to
сказала ни
apologize.
слова.
Miss Harvest
Только
didn't say a
холодно
word. She only
смотрела
gave us
на
a
нас и
cold stare and
громко
sniffed
сопела.
loudly. She
И
scared
так
poor Tony so much that she couldn't fall
перепугала
asleep for
бедолагу
half a
Тони,
night.
Ты же так печешься о брате.
You have such a giving heart when it comes to your brother. You might be raising a hell of a night. Find the road where he wanted such a cat. Snatch a cat though.
Он же совсем мелкий.
He was just a little kid. He came, he saw, he took it home. Doesn't need to tell her friend that Tony intended to give the key to the cat. He knew she wanted a pet more than anything in the world. He thought he could cheer up with at least one toy. He never taken anything that didn't belong to him before. Now, out of fear of getting caught or punished, he simply found stealing shameful. Tony would sooner give away his breakfast than steal something from someone weaker than him. No doubt that kind of attitude would make school harder for him, but such is the nature. Contemplating her brother's heart of gold, Eva smiled softly. They passed by Miss Harvest's terrace, curiously eyeing her odd dolls. Twilight made the cat's silhouettes look eerie. Their pearl-button eyes glimmer in faded light, as if they know secrets that have been buried too long.
Если однажды тронусь умом,
If I go
обязательно
crazy
прикуплю себе
one day,
домишко
I'm
рядом со
definitely
сквером.
buying a nice crib close to the
Соседи
park. The
тут
neighbors
как
here
на
match
подбор.
me perfectly.
Да уж.
Yeah, I
Терпеть не
can
могу
stand
эту
this
улицу.
street. It's like
Она
the
будто
lost in
потерялась
time and
во
space.
времени.
How about we head through the
Пойдем.
square? No one protests, so they lead them onwards, sweeping into the nearest alley. A gust of wind bursts through the narrow walkway, permeating the air with the stench of raw, burdened planks and rotten garbage. The houses in the alley looked like they'd been copied and pasted. They were likely built at the same time the house factory workers. The only thing that differs is the light in the windows, or on or off, making clear whose shift is tonight. 2 Christmases before Brian got beaten up here, some high school student apparently didn't appreciate his sharp tongue. They shoved him into a snowbank and packed snow on his sweater. But most humiliating part was the neighbor kicking them all out. She came out into the doorstep with one of Brian's classmates, a cute but overloudly chatty girl, but the very next day the whole square heard a story about him shaking snow out of his pants, whimpering like a puppy. He would prefer being rode in a giant snowman left there like a tail of spring. Ryan adjusted a backpack full of baseball equipment which had crawled down his shoulder and walked up to
Как же
Ashley.
надоела эта дурацкая
So fed
школа.
up with this stupid school, all the teachers'
Учителя
homework
Но
tests.
учебный год только
But the year
начался.
just started!
Именно поэтому
That's only
учиться
makes
хочется
me want to
еще
study
меньше.
even less. There's nothing
Нет
worse than
ничего
coming back to
хуже
school after
первого.
summer. He jumps over a puddle and takes Ashley's hand.
Это как снова надевать
It's like we're
кроссовки,
wearing
из
old
которых
trainers when
вырос.
we're ever grown out.
Скорее бы в
I can't wait for
колледж.
college. When I start
Работать
working,
начну,
I'll buy
куплю
real
настоящую
catcher's
форму
gear. At
кетчера.
least a better glove. His palm still hurt from Friday's practice session. The equipment donated to the team left much to be
Бери
desired.
сразу биту.
Better buy a
Быстрее
sluggy
окупится,
straight
потому
away.
что
I'll pay off
работать
much
тебя
sooner.
возьмут разве
Best
что
case scenario,
вышибалы
you
в
could be a
бар.
bouncer at the ball. A bar. Ashley laughed at his childish, but Ryan doesn't get the complexity of the road at all.
Папа говорит, что
Dad
достойную
says a good
работу,
job,
как у
dog. His
него,
hand is hard
без
to find
хорошего
without higher
образования не
education. Ashley grabbed Leah on the Zodiac pendant, like a nervous habit, something that she does whenever she's something important, calms
И
her.
в колледже тоже
College
придется
is just
учиться.
another place to study.
Этот мир слишком
This world's
жесток.
too cruel.
Болезни,
Illness, starvation,
голод.
school.
А мне школа нравится.
I like school though. Michael tries to squeeze into conversation. All along, he's been trailing behind the others, glancing suspiciously at park and pickups that they might bite. He hasn't kept up with his friend since he knows 2 silhouettes in the old Ford. Oh shit. One female with a male does nothing there. Oh! Immediately Fish stared back at him. He could have sworn he heard a hoarse, gurgling whisper. Then a light has flashed over one doorstep, suggesting the darkness. Suddenly, both seats were empty again. The strange vision turned into nothing but a local flower mill uniform hanging from a grab handle. Michael wiped the sweat off his forehead and listened carefully to his
Конечно.
friends.
С твоими
Of course, I
оценками,
love
Майки,
school
мне
too if I had
тоже
scores,
нравится.
Mikey.
Вот-вот.
Exactly. Agreed, Brian squeezed Ashley's hand.
Может, тоже очки
Maybe I
надеть?
should wear glasses
Вдруг
too.
через
Sounds like
них
a homework doesn't
домашние
look so
задания не
boring to
будут
them.
казаться такими скучными.
They walked by the Miller's front garden onto a street flooded with pink and blue neon store signs.
Зря ворчите.
You better stop
Всего 3
complaining.
года в
We only
школе
have 3 years of
осталось.
school left.
А
Just
потом
imagine life going to be
представьте,
completely
совсем
different
другая
afterward.
жизнь
We might even lose
начнется.
touch. To Eva, the idea of moving away like feels like a teleporting to a familiar planet. So many people, places, and interesting stories. She even had fully exposed Riverwood yet. In her mind, the town or houses and residents still harbor so many secrets, intimate and dark. In comparison, some unknown. A huge city felt like a bottomless well, impossible to fully drain even if she had 100 years. In a future like that, it would be hard to make time for anything from the past, but doesn't plan to forget her loved ones forever.
Если дружба
If
настоящая,
Princess
даже
will, this
расстояние
means
не
nothing. My
станет
dad calls his
помехой.
friends from other states every single day. She attempted to add that they mainly have business conversation and argue often, but they don't need to know that. In her mind, her parents are role models. Everyone should strive to imitate, just not her and her brother. There isn't a single family in the entire town happy or more close-knit than Ashley's, and that's nothing but
Ну,
the
чтобы
truth.
нас разлучить, Эшли,
Well, it's a
нужно,
couple
чтобы
cornfields and
покруче
state
пара
borders ain't
нужных
enough to break you
полей.
up.
Да при чем тут
What the
моя
hell? Do you
песня,
Ashley's
ваша
dad?
любовь и
Your love
кукурузные
and cornfields
поля?
have in common. Look around. Eva stopped and pointed toward the house swaying in the
А у
darkness.
нас здесь
Is
вообще
there anything really
происходит хоть
happening here?
что-то?
Crunk Jim driving a
Кажется, за
tractor in the
последние годы
reverie was
самой
particularly
громкой
the only
новостью
breaking
был
news here in
пьяный
6
Джим
months.
Ну как же?
Well, adulthood is a real
Взрослая
challenge.
жизнь,
People grow up, they
настоящее
start to feel
испытание.
sorry that time flew by so
Люди
fast, and they want to
вырастают,
experience
потом
the school life
начинают
again. She paused, searching for the right words. Quoting someone else is not one thing, but soon regret those bygone days herself. After all, Eva recalls her childhood with a nostalgic warmth. But then, back then, every little thing felt like a dreamy wonder. Now a doll is no longer a sorcerer princess or traveler from a far world. A toy store is just a piece of plastic the brain can no longer. Making stories up for others is simple, but how are you supposed to fix yourself? Maybe the older you get, the duller and more colorless the world becomes.
Это как вернуться в
It's
сказку,
like going back to
которую
the
не
fairy
ценил
tale.
раньше.
You weren't grateful enough for earlier.
Это красивые слова,
They were
не
just
больше.
nice words, nothing more.
посадить
Bring adults back to the
взрослых
textbooks and
обратно
not
за
how all
учебник,
day.
так на
I don't remember
следующий
any
день
fairy
забыл.
tales where the characters
помню
are forced to
сказки, где
read
нужно
Walt
было
Whitman's
читать
poetry.
стихи
What about you,
Уолту
Michael?
Я тоже.
Me either. The friends drove from one store to the next, looking at the flickering lines. Up close to the long and seemed bright and cheerful, they looked rather ramshackle. How a place in the limited
Пойдем
suburb.
по домам?
Let's go home, okay?
Отец
Dad's on
сегодня на
shift today, but he
дежурстве.
comes back to grab a
Но
bite and
если
eat,
решит
and I ain't
перекусить.
there. Brad scratches his neck and sticks out his tongue. Ashley laughs and punches him in the shoulder. Micah, trailing behind everyone, stops and sees the sign that sparkles brightly and cheerfully as the day was
Зал
hung.
игровых автоматов открыт.
Cade's open.
В такое
I doubt
время
there's
там,
anyone
наверное,
there
почти
this late.
никого
We can
нет.
play Street Fighter. Usually calm and quiet, now blossom behind his thick glasses, his eyes shine with passion.
Точно. Никаких надоедливых
Totally, no
подсказчиков,
stupid helpless
мелюзги,
suckers or
придурков
high
из
school
старших
jocks.
классов.
The boys lean against the dusty window as happy of their meeting the idols. Girls snort in their
Кто-то,
irritation.
кажется, собирался
What?
бежать домой, чтобы
What?
не
Suddenly
отхватить
you're not
как
gonna break-
затрещин от
Run back to your
палочки.
crib to avoid dad's shell
Готов
jacking?
рискнуть.
I'll risk it. There's always a chance dad kick you in the head, but a chance to throw heterins and not freak in line for the game, that's not rare.
Немного им нужно для
Takes so
счастья,
little to
да?
make them happy, doesn't it? Ashley glanced at her friend.
Пусть поиграют.
Let them play.
А вы,
By the way,
кстати,
did you hear about the
слышали
arcade machine that
легенду
appeared in the
об
hall by
игровом
itself? Ashley rolls her eyes. Eva's fantasy and reality have little in common. Her friend features to grow up. In her world, even tattered, oh, she might open his jaw and spin some ridiculous yarn. Exactly what Ashley adores Eva. She's incredibly different from Ashley over rational parents and from Ashley too. With her getting bored is an impossible mission. Even if they were both locked in the empty basement, Eva would still manage to discover something fascinating there. She pulls Ashley in and gets in trouble again. They'll go about it later. But Eva should doesn't need to know. It's like anyone can stop her
Ты
anyway.
начинаешь играть, и не
Stop
можешь
playing and can't
остановиться.
stop. The game never
Эту
ends.
игру
It's impossible. By
невозможно пройти.
trying to over and
Ты
over again,
пробуешь
forgetting
снова
about
и
eating or even going to the
снова.
bathroom, over and over
Забыть
again,
про
not
еду
thinking
и
of parents or
туалет.
friends, over and over again
Вот пока у
till
тебя не закончится
until you run
карманные
out of your
деньги на
allowance, can't
завтраки.
afford breakfast,
И
stay
всё
hungry for
оставшееся
the rest of
неделю
your
ты
week because
сидишь
you're
на
dumb. Micah peels away from glass and adjusts his lopsided glasses.
Ну, этот автомат не так
But that
страшен,
doesn't
если у
sound
тебя
so
и так
scary
нет
if you got no
карманных
allowance
денег.
to begin with.
Войдём?
Going in or what?
Господи, они
Gosh,
смотрят на нас,
look,
как
they're looking at us
собаки
like
на
dogs
место
staring at a
стоят.
steak. Ashley waves her hand authoritatively.
Нам страшновато одним идти
It's creepy
домой
to go
по
home when it's
пути,
dark
мам.
out.
Ну,
But if you win
если
100 tickets, me and
выиграете
Eva are
сегодня
going to
билеты
pick a
в три-
prize. Turn the light, it's getting dark. It's high time for games. Wow, there's several. I think this is enough though. Yeah, this game's longer than I want it to be. If you want to see more, I'll wish list this because this will probably be interesting to do a story. I'll put it on my wish list because this is very interesting, intriguing to be honest. I want to see where this goes. I'm kind of curious. But yeah, this video will be out on March 31st, 2026.